Thank you, Speaker. I welcome the opportunity to contribute to the debate on the Law Enforcement Powers and Responsibilities Amendment, Knife Scanning Bill 2026. At the outset, I recognise that we are supporting the bill. The Coalition supports any sensible measure that strengthens community safety and provides our police with practical tools to prevent violent crime before it occurs. The expectation of every person in New South Wales is simple. They should be able to catch public transport, visit their local shopping centre, attend a sporting event, or enjoy a night out without fearing that someone nearby is carrying a knife. Unfortunately, recent years have shown us that knife crime remains a very real threat. The original knife scanning legislation debated by this Parliament in 2024 was introduced in the aftermath of the horrific Bondi Junction attack. That tragedy shocked our state, claimed the lives of 6 innocent people and left countless others with physical and psychological scars. The government responded by introducing a knife scanning scheme modelled largely on Queensland's Jack's Law. The opposition supported that legislation because we recognise that handheld knife scanners are a practical and proportionate tool that can help police detect a weapon before it is used. But we also made it clear that the government's model was unnecessarily restrictive. During my contribution to the debate in 2024, I said that while the legislation was welcome, the requirements surrounding designated areas, the criteria for making those declarations and the limited duration of those declarations all acted as barriers to the intent of the legislation. The opposition supported amendments moved by the then Shadow Attorney-General to allow police to conduct knife scanning wherever and whenever operational circumstances required, while retaining the important safeguards governing the exercise of those powers. Those amendments were not accepted. Now, just 2 years later, we find ourselves debating amendments to the government's own legislation. The statutory review of the knife scanning provisions, together with the recommendations arising from the Bondi Junction coronial inquest, has demonstrated that improvements are needed. The government has now accepted that the original framework requires greater flexibility. This bill expands the range of locations that may be declared, lowers the rank of the officer able to make a declaration, extends declarations from 12 to 24 hours, clarifies aspects of the transport provisions, and makes the knife scanning scheme permanent. These are sensible reforms, and the opposition supports them. Indeed, they reflect many of the concerns that were raised during the original debate. But while the government has acknowledged the problem, it has still stopped short of providing the solution. The central limitation remains. Police must still navigate a declaration process before they can use these preventative powers. The government has made that process easier. The opposition believes it is unnecessary. Knife crime does not occur only within designated areas. It does not occur only during designated periods. And a police officer responding to rapidly evolving intelligence should not have to ask whether the necessary paperwork has been completed before taking reasonable steps to protect the public. Every day, our police officers make complex operational decisions. They assess threats, they respond to intelligence, they exercise significant powers responsibly and professionally. We trust them to make difficult decisions in circumstances that are often dangerous and unpredictable. Surely we can trust them to determine when the use of a handheld knife scanner is appropriate. It is important to remember that these are not highly intrusive powers. A handheld scanner is a quick and proportionate preventative tool. The existing safeguards remain in place. Police must identify themselves. They must explain why the person is being scanned. They must advise that the person is required by law to comply. Those safeguards are appropriate and should continue. But they should not be accompanied by administrative hurdles that reduce the effectiveness of the scheme. The Bondi Junction coronial inquest recommended consideration of allowing knife scanning at crowded places without the need for a declaration. This bill moves in that direction. It simply does not go far enough. The opposition will again move amendments to allow police to conduct knife scanning anywhere, at any time, where they reasonably believe there is a genuine public safety risk. Those amendments do not remove safeguards. They do not authorise arbitrary searches. They simply provide police with the operational flexibility that we argued for in 2024 and continue to advocate today. This debate is no longer about whether knife scanning works. The evidence demonstrates that it does. nor is it about whether police can be trusted to exercise those powers responsibly. The real question before this House is whether we are prepared to remove unnecessary bureaucratic barriers that limit their effectiveness. For regional communities like mine, this is just as important as it is in metropolitan Sydney. Whether it is a busy shopping precinct, a community festival, a sporting event or a transport hub, our police should have the ability to respond quickly when a genuine public safety risk emerges. Community safety should not depend on whether a declaration has first been signed. The opposition has been consistent from the very beginning. We supported the introduction of knife scanning powers after Bondi Junction because they represented an important step forward. At the same time, we warned that the government's framework unnecessarily constrained police. Today, the government has effectively acknowledged many of those concerns by returning to amend its own legislation. We welcome those improvements, but we believe there is one final step that should be taken. Knife crime can happen anywhere. It can happen at any time. Our police should have the flexibility to respond accordingly. For those reasons, the opposition supports the bill and foreshadows amendments to strengthen it further.